Hello, beloveds. Okay, coming right to you this morning just to share a little bit about the power of the moon, the full moon through which we just passed. I'm going to be really transparent. I am not an expert in this. Astrology, in Vedic astrology, which I know and love, I pay very close attention. In Western astrology, it just doesn't stick often. I don't feel really deeply able to anchor myself in these particular teachings. But there are teachers that I know and love and that I really find to be great teachers of this, very simple ways to enter in. So again, not an expert in this, just wanting to perhaps draw some parallels between what you're experiencing in your life. Like yesterday morning, I woke up at 4 a.m. I jumped out of bed and like the moon was just like screaming at me, and I could fully feel that. So one of my favorite teachers is a woman named Cheney Nicholas, and she has a blog that she sends out. So I want to speak about this. This is the full moon in Sagittarius that we're speaking about. In fact, I think I'm so much not an expert that I forgot a T in Sagittarius. And I'm Sagittarius. That's how much it doesn't that's how much it doesn't stick for me. So she speaks about the power of the full moon. So on June 14th at 4:52 a.m. Pacific time, the full moon in Sagittarius came to us. So, 48 hours ago. But moons don't, moons wax and wane, right? So we feel moon energy like a tide coming in. We might feel it coming to us and rising. Hi, sweet Tammy. And then we might feel that moon energy starts to dissipate. So we want to be aware of that too. And I will say that for me, the thing that I do always, I mark when the that's awesome. I mark when the moon is happening. I recognize that there's a deep and radiant connection to my feminine nature. And then the thing that I also do with that is I pay really close attention to the voices that come through. I'm going to say that again. Like for me, the deep inner wisdom in me, the wise woman that is the same wise woman that lives in every one of you, she comes up and she tells me what's up during the full moon. So I paid really close attention yesterday morning to what came through at 4 a.m. Jessica says, I woke up to the moon piercing through a crack in the blackout shades in the middle of the night last night. Like just hungry to come in, right? Just hungry to come in, right? Supermoon energy, absolutely. And I am I know it's different. You're a mama, you're in a totally different place than I am. You got to really practice and take advantage of that. Sleep when you can get it. I'm like, no, never close the curtains unless we're in a city where there's lights beaming in. Otherwise, which I don't like to sleep in at all. I love to feel the night energy coming through the windows, and I love to sleep out under the moon. These are big things for me, big winners. Okay, so this full moon in Sagittarius, ready, emboldens us to take actions from a place of optimism, which is so beautiful because yesterday in Radical Self-Care Roadmap, our first light was put on your positive pants, right? That was not planned. This just is so perfectly aligned for me. This lunation sextiles Saturn and squares Neptune, and it also brings with it a tension between a need for stability and a flair for escape. A need for stability and a flair for escape. Now, I don't know what dreams and visions were moving through you. Yesterday I was like, could I go to the beach? Could I slip off for a while? And like there was just that definite thing happening while I'm constructing things out of brick here, and I'm putting a security system in, right? These are things about stability and grounding, and my inner voice is saying, could I just slip off for a while? So, right. So feeling that. So it brings about that tension between a need for stability and a flair for escape. Experiment with both and jump with conviction. The payoff promises will be worth the price. Whew. So this is a huge, huge piece. So feeling into the power of this, I'm going to speak to this again. This is it. I'm going to read to you what she has to say. And again, this is Cheney Nicholas. How to make the most of this week. As we begin, Mercury finds its feet in Gemini. This is one of the best Mercury moments of the year. Cast your spells, kittens. There's also, if you follow Way of the Rose, this is a whole other thing for the Catholic girls in the room, or raised Catholic. I'm like, where's my rosary? There's a rosary around here somewhere. They're starting a 54-day rosary practice. Way of the Rose is a great book for any recovering Catholics or fallen away Catholics or Catholics in general. It's a beautiful, beautiful book, The Way of the Rose. And The Way of the Rose today starts a 54-day rosary practice about fulfilling your dreams. So again, look how that aligns with this non-Catholic. Cast your spells, kittens. With the recent retrograde now behind us and Mercury empowered in its home sign, magic making can begin. Magic making can begin. Now is the time to hone your mental prowess and dial up your curiosity. File that paperwork, write your project proposal, script your podcast, start your magnum opus, or beat your Wordle high score. I don't know what that is, but it must be an app. Whatever has your synapses crackling, fly toward it. Like whatever inside of you is like, go in that direction. Trust that, trust that, trust that. Right. The adventures of the mind culminate. This was yesterday. The adventures of the mind culminate with Tuesday's full moon in Sagittarius, right? Or day before yesterday. With this full moon talking to both Saturn and Neptune, it's bound to it's bound to feel both stabilizing and bewildering, probably in that order. Why? Let the ideals, spiritual paths, and dreams that bring meaning to your life be your arrow. Enthusiastically wander without a destination in mind. In true Sagittarius fashion, sometimes we need to embrace the mess and the mystery of being a soul in a body in this blink of time. So this is a super, super potent time for us to be acknowledging and stepping into the power of our divine feminine, right? I know. She's awesome. I love her. Cheney Nicholas. And I love her because she gives it like, here's your stuff for the week. So I read it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pay attention. And then I keep noticing, I got to go back and read that because I think something just aligned. Okay. So the full moon, right? Well, it's a moment, really, right? That's a beautiful question, Caroline. The full moon is really a moment, but we wax and wane. So I still feel full moon energy. Like for me, it hit me hardest and hit me biggest and strongest yesterday morning at 4 a.m. Well, the full moon was the day before. So maybe I'm a slow learner. Like, I don't know how the vibrational energies work. There's a wonderful book. It's actually by Barbara Kingsolver. Do you remember her? Barbara Kingsolver. She's a wonderful sort of a educationally informed fiction writer. And she wrote a book called High Tide in Tucson. And it's an anthology of different stories, if I'm recalling correctly. And I'm going to totally botch this. It's been like 30 years since I read the book. But this is what I always think about. They had a hermit crab. Her daughter had a hermit crab. Right, Tammy? Exactly. They had a hermit crab named Bart. I think I'm getting this right. You'll have to read the anthology. And they were in Tucson, and in the night, at a different time each night, I love this so much. At a different time each night, this little hermit crab would scratch against his aquarium, like, and Barbara Kingsolver over time was like, and it would wake her daughter up, and it was just this thing, and right, and it was a thing, and they started to pay attention, and then Barbara Kingsolver was like, it's like he's like there, what's it doing in its natural environment? So going back to look, and what was happening is this sweet little crab was running, was moving at high tide, not high tide as it was happening at the ocean in California, but high tide as it was happening in Tucson, where it would have been if the water would have been all the way to Tucson. So to answer your question about like how long does the moon last? It's the full moon is just that moment. But I don't know where you are, and I don't know how to figure it out. I just know, and I don't even know how to figure it out within me, and it doesn't even matter. I just say that, okay, this is affecting me now. I notice when it's coming and I start paying attention a few days before, and then I notice when it's full. And sometimes, like this time, I was like, full moon. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it huge. But then I felt it after. I live inland. I live in the center of Mexico. So perhaps the full moon hit me when it hit me, right? Well, it for sure did at 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday, in a lot of ways, like blew up for me. I'm not gonna challenge it or question it. I just get out of my way, right? To just stay present. Exactly. So just to stay present, absolutely. I say it's like put it on your calendar, know when it is, pay attention when it's coming. 3 days, I say 3 days before, 3 days after, because sometimes I'm a slow learner. Kind of joke about it, but that's when it really hits me. But this is a beautiful time. This is a significant time. I'm Sagittarius, so perhaps it's hitting me even a little bit differently or more strongly at this point. But all of it to say that when we pay attention, I find that this is when we get stronger messages. I always pay attention at the full moon. Like what's going on? What voices are coming to me? What dreams am I having? My dreams lately have been wildly informing my daily life. Meaning last night I had a doctor saying to me, "You haven't scheduled a massage recently." Now this doctor doesn't really exist in my life, but I was like, "Oh, I have to schedule a massage." So I woke up this morning and I was like, I need to schedule a massage with a woman, this particular woman therapist who I've not thought about in a while. I don't know why, but I'm paying attention, right? I pay attention to sitting up in the night at 4 a.m. And I'll tell you what, where that started crazily is my partner has a photograph of his mother on the nightstand. And the nightstand is quite a ways. The way my bedroom is weird. That nightstand, I know, I love that so much. That sweet little Erin and I share a birthday in astrology. The ¿Cómo se llama? The nightstand is pretty far away from our bed, so it was kind of a weird thing. And my partner got up, he went and used the bathroom, he came back. I don't know how this happened, but somehow, like, he knocked over the photo, the only photo he has of his mother, and it fell to the floor and the glass broke. And we have saltillo tile, so we have barro, like those big orange terracotta tiles, Mexican tiles. So it broke. And so that like blew open the sound in my body. And that happened maybe 15 minutes before I got up. And I was like, that I couldn't, it's his mother, moon energy, right? The breaking of glass is moon energy. The full moon, and then I wasn't going back to sleep. And then I woke up and I had waves of energy move through me. And I was like, I have got to pay attention. And it resulted in me at, maybe 5 a.m. flipping the light on and going, I have to talk to you. And he's like, whoa, what's going on? I don't know anything about this. And there unfolded just this high truth in me that had to move through in a conversation. Not recommending that. I'm just saying that's how it happened for me yesterday. So paying attention, right? So just paying attention. You're right, Caroline, being present. So that's it. Just think about the full moon, think about 3 days before, 3 days after, notice the energies, notice what messages come through you. That can be your very own ritual in and of itself. It doesn't have to be anything more complicated than that. If you can bathe in the full moon, do it, right? If you can touch in and tap into the full moon, do it. What does that look like? It means just like full moon bath. It means just sit in the moonlight. We don't even know what it means. We have no idea what that can do to us. We have no idea, but it's touching us. There's no question. And remembering that the moon never has her own light. That is the light of the sun being reflected off of her. And may that radiate down and into your heart and into your life and into your psyche and into your past and into your future and into your dharma and into the impact you can make in the world and to help you heal and move you in and through again and again. So that's it. That's what I got for you today. Just wanted to share that. So big love to you, and continue to ride the waves of the moon, the waves of the tides. And we'll see you soon. All right. Big love to you. Bye for now.